It was announced this month that the 2 final Sam Goody stores will soon be closing. One of those.
Welcome to So Yesterday. Let's go back. Today we're counting down the 10 mall stores we wish we could visit one more time. Glamour Shots. Remember when a trip to the mall somehow turned into a professional photo shoot? Welcome to Glamour Shots. One minute you were walking past the food court, and the next, someone had you wearing a feather boa, a giant hat, or a denim jacket. The photographer kept saying things like, "Turn your chin a little. Now look off into the distance." Perfect. Somehow, every picture looked like it belonged on the cover of a romance novel. Then, a week later, your mom came home with an envelope full of portraits, an 8x10, a few 5x7s, about 20 wallets, and somehow one giant portrait that ended up hanging in the house for the next 10 years. At the time, you probably thought you looked like a supermodel. Looking back, those pictures are comedy gold. Gadzooks. You knew your parents were going to hate at least half the clothes in this store, which, of course, made you want them even more. Baggy jeans, graphic tees, chain wallets. Whatever the mannequin was wearing, that suddenly became your entire personality. Then came the dressing room. You'd walk out, spin around, and ask your friends, "So, what do you think?" Meanwhile, your parents were standing there wondering why every shirt looked ripped or 3 sizes too big. And the second they said, "You're not wearing that," you were absolutely wearing that. RadioShack. Your dad looked at you and said, "I just need to run into RadioShack for 1 minute." That was never true. 20 minutes later, he was still standing there comparing 2 cables that looked exactly the same. Meanwhile, you'd already pressed every button in the store, picked up every remote control car, played with every cordless phone, and somehow convinced yourself you absolutely needed something you'd never even heard of 5 minutes earlier. Then your dad finally walked out, holding one tiny little bag. Mission accomplished. And somehow, the guy working at RadioShack always knew exactly what your dad was looking for. Before Google, that guy had all the answers. Payless ShoeSource. You knew summer was almost over when your parents said, "It's time to go get new school shoes," which meant one thing, a trip to Payless. First, you had to find your size. Then, pull the box off the shelf. Put the shoes on. Walk to that tiny little mirror. Turn your foot sideways for absolutely no reason. Then, take a few more steps, just to make sure. And somehow, those little disposable socks made the whole thing feel way more official. You might not have walked out with the expensive shoes everyone wanted, but walking into school on the first day wearing a brand new pair still made you feel pretty cool. Wet Seal. Friday night started at Wet Seal, because if you had plans that weekend, this was where you came to find the outfit. The birthday party, the school dance, the football game, or just walking around the mall hoping you'd accidentally run into your crush. You'd try on top after top, hold outfits up in the mirror, and somehow convince yourself this is the one. One new shirt, one new pair of jeans, and suddenly you were walking through the mall feeling like everyone was looking at you. Looking back, it probably wasn't the outfit that gave us confidence, but it sure felt like it. Delia's. The Delia's catalog showing up in the mailbox felt like Christmas. You didn't just flip through it, you studied it, folded the corners, circled everything you wanted, and somehow convinced yourself your parents were definitely buying all of it. They weren't. Every page made you wish you were just a little older, a little cooler, a little more like the girls in those pictures. Then one day, you actually got to walk into a Delia store. It felt like stepping inside the catalog. Even if you walked out with one t-shirt or nothing at all, you still couldn't wait for the next catalog to show up. Sam Goody. Walking into Sam Goody with enough money to buy one CD felt like making one of the biggest decisions of your life. You'd pick one up, put it back, grab another one, then somehow end up holding the first one again. If your store had listening stations, you definitely stood there pretending you were a music critic. Then came the best part, getting home, peeling off that impossible plastic wrap, opening the case, flipping through the booklet, reading every single lyric. Because back then, buying an album wasn't just buying music, it was buying the soundtrack to the next few months. KB Toys. Every trip to the mall came with one question. Can we go into KB Toys? And every parent gave the exact same answer. We're just looking. Sure we were. The second you walked in, you were already planning your birthday list, Christmas list, or figuring out which toy you were absolutely coming back for someday. You'd press every button, try every demo, pick up toys you'd never seen before, and somehow that tiny little store felt packed with things you suddenly couldn't live without. Most of the time, you walked out empty-handed, but somehow you couldn't wait to go back the next time you were at the mall. Suncoast. Walking into Suncoast was dangerous because you never planned on staying that long. You'd start looking at one movie, then somehow end up halfway across the store checking out movie posters, TV shows, and collectibles you didn't even know existed. Every shelf had something that made you stop and say, "Oh my gosh, I forgot about that." Then you'd find that giant collector's edition, pick it up, look at the price, and quietly put it right back. You may not have walked out with a bag every time, but you always walked out with a longer list of movies you wanted to own. And honestly, that was half the fun. Limited 2. Walking into Limited 2 felt like walking into your dream bedroom. Everything matched, everything sparkled, and you wanted every single thing in the store. The clothes, the accessories, the room decorations, even things you had absolutely no use for. You'd fill your arms with everything you wanted, only to hear the words every Limited 2 girl remembers. You can pick one. Suddenly, your entire future depended on making the right choice. You'd walk around the store 3 more times, put something back, pick something else up, then change your mind all over again. But even if you left with just one little shopping bag, it felt like you had won the lottery. Because for one afternoon, you got to take a little piece of Limited 2 home with you. Thanks for watching So Yesterday. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, check out another video, and we'll see you next time.